So the topic for today is how to attract a man versus keep a man.
We actually had a long discussion about this yesterday.
And I think it sparked off from the book, because you're reading The Way of the Superior Man by David Data, so that we could talk about it. I've read the women books, The Surrendered Wife and The Empowered Wife. And so we want to be able to talk about some of the man books as well. And so in the book, there's a statement where he says that talking to men, you'll be attracted to teenage women. Or the thing about it is that it does uncover a truth that I think a lot of women don't want to face and is somewhat of an uncomfortable truth. Can't take it out of context. It doesn't, in no way would we ever condone doing anything with teenager as a man, or even oogling, anything that's just completely inappropriate. However, men in general are going to be attracted to primarily youth and beauty. Those are the things biologically that men are wired. And it's really easy, I think, to demonize men and say, oh, you guys are scum. I can't believe that. Or to like look at Leonardo DiCaprio and
that's pretty extreme.
His is a little, but I'm just saying it's a biological attraction, right? Now, obviously, things that are, and we're not talking about young children. That is an abnormality, being attracted to young children. But to be attracted to the female form or a young youth and beauty are essentially the two things that men are most attracted to initially. Whereas if we flipped it, women, I would say, is status and power is what they're more attracted to. For men, the physical initially is the most important. I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. But this is biologically true.
Women know that, but they also know that it's something they can't control. But they try to with plastic surgery and all of these other things to look young. And I think that women are kind of tired of trying to look young all the time. People are embracing it more to not have to like get the plastic surgeries or the Botox or the whatever. They'll do it more so like self-care things like keeping their skincare routine and like things like that. I don't classify as they're trying to look super young, but there are plenty of women out there who are trying to look super young because they do know that men value that. They know it, but I think you're more so talking about maybe the women in their 40s who don't have the 20-year-old youth that they used to have, but might be still trying to pursue the men that they were in their 20s.
It's more of just, I think there's a few things. I think there is one, what is the raw truth? The raw truth, it's not meant to offend anyone, but it is just like, what is the biological truth? And then we have to start to say, okay, what does that mean to you based on who you are? So if you're a young woman, what does that mean to you? If you're an older woman, what does that mean to you? And then even as a man, what does that mean knowing this about yourself?
But I do think also the 20-year-olds know to some degree, and they know that they can receive benefits from being young and beautiful. And a lot of times they don't really develop much else because they know what value they hold and they don't have to do anything for it a lot of the time. I mean, I even saw a TikTok earlier today where a young woman, attractive woman was like, we need to stop focusing and putting our confidence solely in our looks, which is a good thing because a lot of women in their 20s, they're like, well, I'm pretty and it's fine. And they are pretty, they're beautiful, but men aren't requiring much else from them initially, but long-term, men do want more than just that. That's what attracts them. Like you said, you know, initially, like that's in their nature, but then the other things that he needs comes in. Both sides know where they're at, if I'm being honest, especially with like the rise of OnlyFans and things like that. Women are profiting off of being young and beautiful.
For sure,
in ways that they never did before because they know that that's what men want. They know that they don't even really have to do anything. And on the other side, maybe some of those women still have the standards that they had at 20, or they still want the 1% of men. And so they're competing with these 20-year-olds, and maybe that's why they feel pressured to get the plastic surgery or whatever it is that they're doing. So there's a lot to unpack here.
Let's start with the biological truth, first of all. Like you said, with the OnlyFans and everything, I think there's still a lot of people in denial that women that would say that age doesn't matter. As an older woman, there's no, I hate to use the term the wall or what. There is a truth to the idea of the wall. The idea that when a woman hits a certain age, then her attractiveness level in the sexual marketplace to men drops off dramatically at a much faster rate than before, right? There is that point that happens. So that's the reality. It's not meant to hurt people's feelings. I'm the messenger. You can see it in life. It proves out. Are there exceptions to it? Yes, there are exceptions to it. A lot of those exceptions are plastic surgery exceptions like Jennifer Lopez and things like that, where those are the ones that people always cite. There's some maybe that aren't, but for a majority of women, they should understand the reality that men are primarily attracted to youth and beauty, and that's initially the best way to get a man. Now, again, we're not talking about the long term. We're not talking about, we will talk about that, but
get their attention, because I don't think you can secure a man totally,
not totally
with how you look, unless you're a sugar baby.
Just like I would tell men, if you have status, you have the greatest range of possibility, right? If you're a rock star, for instance, probably going to have more opportunities with women than you would.
No, I agree. I think the range is what it is. I just want to be clarify because that's why we're doing.
So we got to start with that fundamental truth, because if you try to deny that truth, you're just doing yourself a disservice. It's not going to help anyone. And again, I'm not the guy that's trying to say this to harm women or to discourage them in any way. It's just we have to start at the fundamental truth. Otherwise, we can't do anything if we blow smoke up our own asses and pretend like that's not the case. I think the other thing about it too is that we also cannot demonize men because that is their nature. Just like there's many things about women that we can't demonize because it's their nature. You're not going to change the biology of men of what they find attractive. And so if we shame people because of that, it doesn't do us any good. So.